Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. If you are new to my channel, I'm in Long Island, New York, gardening zone 7A. Ranunculus are beautiful flowers that bloom in the spring with rose-like blooms that come in a rainbow variety of colors. In today's video, we're going to talk about when is the correct time to plant Ranunculus Corms for your gardening zone, how to pre-soak, pre-sprout the corms, how to correctly amend the soil, and what is the right way to plant them for beautiful, long-lasting, abundant spring blooms. So for those of you looking for that online gardening channel, which offers tips, tricks, easy, yet proven gardening advice to take your home garden to that next level, don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around with me today. Start with going below this video and clicking the subscribe button. If you enjoy the content of my videos and want to get notifications each time I'll upload a new video, please click the bell icon below as well. Now come with me. Let's get gardening. Ranunculus are gorgeous flowers that reward us with beautiful, extended pop of color all spring season long. Ranunculus are planted and grown from a corm. Here's exactly what a ranunculus corm looks like. When you purchase it from a garden center or plant nursery, it looks like a miniature size dried octopus. You can see the long tentacle-like legs. When we purchase our ranunculus corms from a garden center or plant nursery, they always come pre-packaged with multiple corms within each package. For those of you, my fellow home gardeners who live and garden in zones 7 through 10, if you can protect your delicate corms with either hoops and a frost cloth or a greenhouse, the best time to plant your ranunculus corms is now in the fall for an abundant spring bloom. For those of you guys who live in zones 6 through 4, you should be pre-soaking, pre-sprouting your ranunculus corms during the early spring months, roughly 4 weeks before your last anticipated frost date. Regardless in which gardening zone you garden and live, there are 2 ways to plant your ranunculus corms. The first way is, of course, directly into the soil of your home garden. The second way is to pre-sprout them prior to planting them in the soil of your home garden. Regardless of which method you will choose, the first and very important step is to pre-soak the ranunculus corms. Why? Because when you purchase them from a garden center or a nursery, the corms are dry and dormant. That means that they were kept at room temperatures for a long month. By pre-soaking the corms, you are not only waking them up, you're also rehydrating them. So let's dive right in. And I'm going to show you step by step how to correctly pre-soak ranunculus corms prior to planting them in your beautiful home garden. Now let's talk about how to correctly pre-soak ranunculus corms. As again, when you purchase them, they're dry and dormant. The point of pre-soaking the corms for 4 hours is to not only rehydrate them or plump them up, but to also wake them up from dormancy and get them ready for planting. The first step is to take all of the corms out of the packaging. Inspect them for firmness and for lack of fungus or mold. The corms should feel tough and firm to the touch, never soft, mushy, or wet. There should be no foul odor or smell coming from any of the corms. Once you ensure that the corms are healthy, you're going to place all the corms into a bowl. If you are trying to pre-soak lots of corms, you might need a bucket instead. If you want to distinguish which variety you are pre-soaking and planting, you might want to label each of the bowls before pre-soaking. Right now, I'm going to be pre-soaking my purple Sensation Ranunculus variety corms, which are imported from Holland. What are you going to need other than, of course, the corms and the bowl or the bucket? You're going to need tap water. You want to pour the tap water directly into the bowl or the bucket, covering the corms in entirety, like this. You're going to leave your corms be in this tap water for maximum of 4 hours. You do not want to exceed 4-hour time. One more tip, which I want to share with you while you're pre-soaking your corms. You want to spill out and replace the water on the corms, on the pre-soaking corms, every once per hour. So have extra tap water on hand. So during the duration of 4 hours, you're going to be replacing the water in which your corms are soaking exactly 4 times. With each hour passing by, you're going to see your corms go from thin, dry, dead looking, to thick, healthy, and plump. So I'll see you guys in exactly 1 hour intervals, and I'm going to show you exactly what you should be looking out for and what you want your corms to look like with each passing hour. It's been exactly 1 hour since I left my Ranunculus Corms uncovered in a bowl with tap water to pre-soak. I wanted to pull one of the corms out and to show you exactly what you want to be seeing 1 hour into the pre-soaking process. You could see that the corms are starting to rehydrate. They don't look so dry anymore, so skinny, so shriveled up. The corms are finally starting to plump up and to wake up from their long dormancy period. I'm going to leave my corms alone for yet another 3 hours to pre-soak, but I will be back in the next 1 hour to show you what the corms, the pre-soaking corms should look like 2 hours into the process. So I'll see you guys again very soon. 2 hours are up. I'm back to take a look at my pre-soaking Ranunculus Corms. I think pictures speak 1,000 words. Just take a look at how much better, plump, healthy, rehydrated my Ranunculus Corms are looking. But the pre-soaking process is not yet over. I'm going to leave them here for at least another hour and a half, and I'll be back in the next hour to show you guys what the corms should be looking roughly 3 hours into the pre-soaking process. Don't forget to dump out the water in which your Ranunculus Corms have been pre-soaking each hour. In case there's any insects, any bacterial or fungal infections, we want to get rid of it. Please spill out the pre-soaking water in its entirety, leaving the corms still intact inside the bowl, and add more fresh tap water to your pre-soaking bowl, just like this. Leave them for another hour, come back, take a look at your corms, at the condition of your corms. Again, we will be spilling out or dumping out this new batch of water in the next hour and adding new tap water to our pre-soaking Ranunculus Corms. The goal is to make sure that they're healthy and happy. Look how beautiful they're looking already. 3 hours are up. I just wanted to show you guys so you could take a look for yourself how much more healthier, rehydrated these Ranunculus Corms look at this point. Do you recall what we started out with? The corms that we pulled out of the bags looked flimsy, dry, dead looking, but look how much healthier they look now. Just take a look at that. But it's not over yet. I'm going to leave them here for at least another 30 minutes. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave them for the entire 4 hours, as they're looking pretty good to me already. I'm going to take a look on them in 30 minutes And if I'm liking the result, which of course I'm going to share with you, we're going to start to pot them up for their pre-sprouting process, which is going to take us yet another 2 weeks before we can pop these beauties into the ground. And I can't wait to share the entire process with you guys. So let's go for another 30 minutes or so. Of course, first, we must dump out the existing water. And what we're going to do is we're going to add fresh, clean tap water to these corms to keep rehydrating them like this. And I will see you guys in exactly 30 more minutes, and we'll take a look at what the corms look like at that point. Now that 3 hours of pre-soaking are officially up, technically it's up to you guys, my fellow home gardeners, to decide whether you want to pull out your Ranunculus corms now, get them ready for pre-sprouting process, or plant them directly in the soil of your home garden, or whether you want to leave them in here to pre-soak for maybe another 30 minutes to an hour. That all depends on you. Please do not surpass the 4-hour time mark, as you will be risking rotting out, root rotting out your corms. What you want to be seeing are nice, plump, rehydrated corms at this point. If this is exactly what your corms look like at this point, you are ready to take them out of their pre-soaking stage. If you want to take that extra step, leave them there for what? Another 15, 30 minutes, but not more than that. This is exactly what you want your Ranunculus corms to look like 3 hours into the pre-soaking process. Here we are, guys. 4 hours of pre-soaking our Ranunculus corms is finally over. Take a look for yourself what a major difference pre-soaking does. Look how plump, healthy, rehydrated these corms look. Now is the time to get them pre-sprouted. The process is relatively easy, so let's get started. First and foremost, let's get a tray out. You're gonna need a flat tray, preferably a tray that you use with your seeds starting. No drainage holes, that's very important. You're going to need potting mix that's dry, airy, loose, and well draining. What you're going to need to do is place at least 1 inch of this potting mix on the bottom of this tray like this. Nothing hard, very simple, straight layer just on the bottom of this flat tray. Again, no drainage holes needed. You want to go above and beyond the point, you can add as much as 2 inches, but 1 inch will do the trick. Remember, these corms will only stay in here for as little as 2 weeks for the purposes of pre-sprouting them. The next goal is to get the soil or the potting mix which you just added evenly moist. Not too much water, guys. You don't want to over soak it. Why? Because you're going to end up rotting your Ranunculus corms. You add a little bit of water, you use a garden glove, and you mix it in thoroughly. You want just enough moisture to help these corms sprout. We added 2 inches of beautiful, well-draining organic potting mix to our flat tray. We added plenty of moisture to it as well. Now that we thoroughly mixed it in, how do we know that it's not too wet? It's very simple, guys. All you do is you pick a pinch up and you try to squeeze it. If there's no running down water, no runoff, you know it's perfectly moist and not too wet. The next step is to take our perfectly pre-moistened Ranunculus corms, spill out that water, the moisture which they were pre-soaking. There you go. Now you have your corms. This is exactly what they look like. Look how plump they look. Perfection. This is exactly what you want to be seeing. Distance is not a question at this point because they're only going to spend limited time, about a week and a half to 2 weeks in this tray. You place them the root side down, close proximity to each other, straight into your pre-moistened potting mix in your flat tray. This distance is absolutely perfect. What are we talking about? 2-3 inches at most. As you're placing your pre-soaked Ranunculus Corms into your pre-moistened potting mixture, remember to put the tubious finger side down first. This will be where the roots will come from, and the other side will be exactly where your plant will start to sprout and grow the foliage. Again, spacing is not an issue as they will only spend roughly 2 weeks in this tray. Like this. We will, of course, cover the corms with about another 1 inch of potting mix, and we will place this tray in a darker, cooler location. Ideal temperatures for pre-sprouting Ranunculus Corms is about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I am all done spacing my pre-soaked Ranunculus Corms in my pre-sprouting tray. You could see that the distance between each corm is not that large, as again, it doesn't matter. They'll only be spending a limited time here in order to pre-sprout. The next step is to cover them up with roughly 1 inch of the same potting mix. The goal is to evenly cover them up and place them in a dark, cooler location for roughly 2 weeks for the purpose of sprouting. I'm using a Spom Organic potting mix today to cover up and to pre-sprout my Ranunculus Corms. You could see that I'm not placing too much potting mixture at all. You do not want to suffocate them. They're not that large, and the point is to have them sprout. If you bury them too deep, they are not going to sprout. I have positioned my Ranunculus Corms in my flat tray. I have covered them, backfilled them with 1 inch of organic potting mix. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more of tap water just on top. Not too much. We don't want to rot it, but again, we want to encourage the sprouting process. There you go, guys. And what is the next step? Where do we place this particular tray? You want to place the tray in a cooler, roughly 50 to 55 degree location. If you have a 45 degree Fahrenheit location, that's even better. That's ideal. The location also has to be dark. When the corms are exposed to cooler temps, 45 to 60 degree Fahrenheit temperature plus limited amount of sunlight, that is when they begin to sprout and come up. That is when they're going to show you whether they're viable or not. Remember, ranunculus are cool weather loving blooming flowers. The second the temperatures in the spring exceed 70 degrees Fahrenheit, that is when you're going to see your ranunculus flowers start to fade. The blooms are start to go into disease, and they're going to go back into their dormancy phase. Basement, unlit, unheated basement, garage, outdoor gardening shed, maybe even your cellar is absolutely an ideal place to keep your tray during the duration of 2 weeks for pre-sprouting purposes. Here we are, guys. It's been exactly a week and a half since we, together with you guys, my fellow home gardeners, have pre-soaked my Ranunculus corms and have placed them inside this tray for pre-sprouting purposes. I've left this tray inside my gardening shed for the last week and a half. I kept checking on this tray roughly every 2 to 3 days to make sure that the soil was evenly moist and to make sure that I'm seeing some progress with the corms. And as you could see for yourself, my Ranunculus corms have sprouted absolutely beautifully. But I can also see that some of the corms did not make it, such as this one right over here. You could see, not only did it not pre-sprout, you could see that it ended up molding out at the root end. So I'm going to discard of this corm. Otherwise, majority of the corms did absolutely beautifully. Look at this gorgeous, large root system. Now, my Ranunculus corms, my pre-sprouted Ranunculus corms are ready to be planted. Remember that if you pre-sprout your Ranunculus corms, they're going to bloom for you much sooner than the corms which you plant, which have not been pre-sprouted. Also, if you plant pre-sprouted corms now in the fall, not only are they going to bloom for you sooner, their bloom time will be at least 3 weeks longer versus the corms you're going to plant in the spring, or even the corms which you will plant in the fall, yet haven't been pre-sprouted in advance. So come with me, let's plant these beautiful pre-sprouted Ranunculus corms. Here we are, guys, at my planting location for my Ranunculus. You could see they already have some existing Ranunculus growing in this location, yet I'm going to plant some more new varieties with you guys today. Again, the key to planting Ranunculus is to ensure that the location will receive at least 6+ hours of bright, direct sunlight daily. Remember, Ranunculus are cool, weather-loving flowers. Once the temperatures start to exceed 75 degrees Fahrenheit, your Ranunculus will cease to bloom. The key to planting Ranunculus corms is not to plant them too deep, only 2 inches in depth. And if you're planting multiple rows, to space your rows at least 9 inches apart. The next goal is to gently remove all of your pre-sprouted Ranunculus from the soil in the tray. When you're pulling them up, make sure you don't tug too hard or you will damage the delicate root system. Now, once you remove all of your pre-sprouted corms, remember to, of course, plant your corm root side down and the green sprout or the foliage side up. Remember, because our Ranunculus corms are not large at all, there's no reason to plant them too deep, to bury them into that soil. The maximum planting depth should be 2 inches. Please do not exceed 2 inches or your Ranunculus corms will struggle pushing through the ground or breaking the soil. For those of you who haven't yet subscribed to my gardening channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor, no need to wait any longer. It's super easy to do. Just go below this video and click the subscribe button. If you enjoy the content of my videos, if you find my gardening videos to be useful, helpful, informative in any way, don't forget to click the bell icon below as well. This way YouTube will send you notifications each time I'll upload a new video. Stay healthy, happy, be well. Each and every single one. Enjoy these beautiful, mild, crisp fall days. And happy gardening, guys. And I'll see you again in my new upcoming videos. Bye, guys. Because the planting depth is only 2 inches, not more than that. You technically don't need a hand shovel or any special gardening tool. I like to use the back side of the palm of my hand to dig a trench. I roughly estimate the depth to be 2 inches. And what you do next is you place your Ranunculus corms like so. One, I like to give it a little distance, and then I place the next one like that. Now that you have positioned your Ranunculus corms perfectly, you feel comfortable with where and how they are placed. The next step is to backfill. Again, no need to bury them too deep, and be gentle, especially with pre-sprouted corms. You don't want to damage the root system nor the sprouts. Because I am planting now in the fall, not in the late winter or spring. I will not be fertilizing the soil at the time of planting. Why? Because if I fertilize now during the time of planting, I will encourage new leaf growth. And that is not what I want to be doing now. I want my Ranunculus Corms to rest peacefully, calmly during the cold winter month. Come the spring season, that is when I'm going to fertilize to encourage them to break ground and to grow for me beautifully. If you're only planting one row, that's fine. However, if you will be planting multiple rows, remember the spacing should be at least 9 inches from one row to the next. You do not want to overcrowd the growing space. Again, I'm using the back of the palm of my hand to dig the trench. It's okay if the planting hole or the planting trench will be a bit deeper than 2 inches, but try not to exceed more than 3 or 4 inches in the planting depth. Look at this gorgeous monster, loving the abundant, large, healthy root system. I'm gonna give this guy a beautiful home right over here. Remember, if you're seeing a cluster of sprouts, do not rip them. Do not cut them. Do not separate them. Leave this entire cluster intact. Same process, guys. Space them apart comfortably. Make sure the root system is stretched out comfortably, almost like an octopus. And once you're happy with the positioning, all you have to do is backfill roughly 2 inches, or if you planted them a bit deeper, maybe 3 inches. Give it a nice light tap and you're good to go. This is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me here today in my home garden in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. In today's video, we pre-soaked, pre-sprouted, and planted beautiful Ranunculus Corms in the fall. If you've enjoyed the content of this video, if you found today's video to be useful, helpful, informative, don't be shy, guys. Show me that support by clicking thumbs up below. Don't forget to leave the comments in the comment section as well. Let me know, do you plant and grow ranunculus in your home garden? If so, when do you plant them? Late winter or in the fall season? Remember, my fellow home gardeners, if you live and garden in cooler northern climates or gardening zones, and that is zones 7 and below, you will have to protect your delicate, tender Ranunculus Corms during the cold winter month with garden hoops and frost protection cloth, which is exactly what I have to do every single winter here in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. For those of you living in warmer climates or gardening zones, and those include zones 8 and above, where you don't get freezing temperatures during the winter and you don't get any snow, then your Ranunculus Corms are good to go as they are. No additional protection will be needed for them during the cold winter months.